Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on today for coffee time with Christina. I know we do car time with Christina, couch time with Christina. Now we're doing coffee time with Christina. And I'm a little bit under the weather, but I wanted to come on today and share about one of my favorite topics. Hello, I see people joining. So I know that this topic is top of mind for a lot of people as you are a pharmacist entrepreneur growing your business. No matter what stage of your business, this can come up, this fear of being seen, imposter syndrome, a lot of these fears around shining too brightly and what's going to happen if I do that and who's going to judge me. And so we're going to dive deep into some of the blocks that can show up in your business around being seen, being visible. And so, for those of you who have been with me along the journey of February, you've seen all of the amazing things and the connection, the growth, the energy in the groups that we had. I did my 2-day entrepreneur healing summit with those 16 amazing speakers. A lot of them are in this group. Hi, Christine, I see you. And we also did then 2 weeks later did the 3-day Elevate Your Business Visibility Challenge. And so what better time to talk about the fear of being seen than right now, because it's totally top of mind for me and for so many of the other women that have joined my Elevate Entrepreneur Academy. And the energy in that group is already just completely lit up, and I'm just so excited for their 6-month journey. So owning your brilliance is something that I talk about a lot. And so with that comes looking at, okay, so we have the light and the dark, right? We have duality to everything. And so, good, bad, black, white. And so when we look at the light, when you think of shining a light on something, it's really highlighting a lot of the things that we want to hide, that we don't want to look at. And so with compassion, we're going to dive into this together today, because I want you to really know that these things that are coming up for you, the blocks, the blind spots, they're normal, because we weren't taught how to move through this. And so I want to be the beacon of light for you to know that you can move through it. And so owning your light comes with looking at the dark, right? Looking at these blocks, looking at what are the reasons why maybe you don't want to shine in your business and how that shows up for you specifically. Maybe for you, it's you putting up your photo shoot, or procrastinating from growing your Facebook group, or doing those things that will move the needle in your business, but you almost just freeze up and you can't move past it. What happens so often with a lot of the women that I work with is that we go into that fight, flight, freeze response where your nervous system is holding a past trauma or something from the past that is stopping you, right? Because your body, your subconscious mind wants to keep you safe at all costs, right? We think of that, the tiger chasing somebody, your body goes into flight, fight, or freeze, or even fawn. That's another one. Fawning is, if you've experienced abuse, or some kind of trauma, you try to appease the abuser or the person who is bullying you, whatever that is, in order to stay safe. Ultimately, that is our goal, right? The subconscious mind wants to keep us safe because, after all, we need to survive. And so these things that come up, they're your nervous system kicking in to say, oh, that's not safe for me. I can't do that, because the last time I did that, my nervous system is wired to fight, flight, freeze, whatever that response is for you. And so if you find yourself procrastinating, that's the freeze response. If you find yourself kind of just going into overwhelm and those hyper arousal states, that can be flight. There's so many different ways that this can manifest. And so it's kind of understanding your own nervous system, being curious about how self-sabotage, how the fear of being seen shows up for you, and then giving yourself that love and compassion, doing the things that are going to help you calm your nervous system so that you can move forward and be successful and shine your beautiful light in your business, because that's what you want. And so some of the other ways that you might be unconsciously sabotaging showing up in your full brilliance in your business might be, that you're, again, abandoning yourself, and you're kind of doing all of the things behind the scenes, like the website and the logo and all these things, but you're not really connecting with your audience. You're not showing up on the Facebook Live or posting consistently. And so it's not something to be ashamed of. It's just something to be curious about. Like, okay, the symptom, right? When we're pharmacists, we look at the symptom, like the person presents with a headache. Okay, well, it's probably something deeper than that. Maybe they're dehydrated, maybe they have a mineral deficiency or whatever it is that all of you amazing functional medicine practitioners know about. So that's the same thing with a block, right? It's like, okay, you're presenting with the fear of being seen. You're presenting with, perfectionism. And underneath, what are those thoughts that are anchoring that block into place? The way that I see a block is almost this energetic density that has roots to it that I can feel in and see, okay, you have stories. Let's pull those, let's unwind and unravel some of those stories that you have about yourself. Maybe you only share about certain things that feel safe to you and you don't want to get in trouble. So you just post content that is upbeat and uplifting and you never really challenge your audience. Again, this can show up in so many different ways. And so it's okay. It's okay for you to have these blocks. It doesn't mean anything bad about you. It's just something to dance with. That's something that I've been really having fun with lately is whenever we experience these blocks, just kind of like I say, dance with them, right? Be like, oh, I'm curious about that. Oh, what's this showing me? And there is no, I wrote about this the other day. There's no quicker way for you to spiritually ascend by it. Like the fastest way is for you to grow your business because you're going to be faced with all of these things about yourself, the perfectionism, the unworthiness, or the fear around spending money and investing in yourself, right? All of these things are constantly coming up. And so that's really the work that I do with women, is helping you to dance with those blocks and not make it so heavy, right? It's allowed to be easy and it's your time to shine. So I wanted to show you this bucket analogy, and I think that this is really powerful to think about. So if you look at, say that like your energy field is the container here, and you see all these little holes here, these are our traumas, our wounds, our beliefs that they create pain inside of us, right? And so whenever somebody goes to pour in water, right? If you see, I can't really draw, but you can see the cup of water is going to pour in. What's going to happen? Oh, there goes my dog. The Amazon driver is probably here. So what happens when you pour water into it? All of the water seeps out because we have all of these unhealed things that are not allowing us to hold energetically that water or money or more clients. And so the more you do this inner work, the more you can plug in some of these wounds, right? And you can see here, like this is going to be able to hold a lot more. So I wanted to give you that physical, mental picture of what it looks like whenever you go through this healing process of radically loving and accepting yourself. This is so much more than just the surface level self-care bubble baths. It's really going through this deep healing process of calming your nervous system out of that fight or flight that we talked about and allowing you to know it's safe to shine. It's safe for me to receive abundantly from my gifts. It's safe for me to charge what I'm worth, right? All of these things that I find so many entrepreneurs are struggling with right now. And so not making yourself bad or wrong, we're just going to dance with those blocks, right? So I'm going to go through a couple of different layers underneath this fear of the fear of being seen. Let me just stop my dog. Hold on just a minute. Penny, hey. All right, well, you guys got to see raw and real what my life is like. So anyway, I'm back. I figured, I'm like, of course the Amazon driver comes now. Okay, so we're going to go levels deeper into the fear of being seen and not feeling safe to shine. So this can come from a lot of different experiences. So it can come from, not feeling safe to be noticed or complimented. And I'm going to tell you a pretty embarrassing story right now, but I don't really care because I own it. So in sixth grade, I had a boy who had a crush on me. And sixth grade, like I started to buy thongs and this and that, right? Like you weren't really used to like I wasn't used to wearing thongs. Like that was a thing when I was in sixth grade. And then I had a friend who was like, "Oh, you wear regular underwear?" So anyway, I was wearing a thong with a skirt on one day, and this boy who liked me came and flipped my skirt up, and my whole butt was showing, and it was like during lunchtime. And I was so embarrassed because he liked me, and I guess he was being stupid and wanted to just make a joke of it or whatever. I don't know. So that's an example of like feeling ashamed because I was getting negative attention. So that can be something that shows up for you. And like once you hear me say that, you're like, oh yeah, you know what, in middle school or in high school I had this thing happen and I just wanted to hide and I was so embarrassed, or whatever happened to you. We carry these experiences and this shame from different things from the past, and so that can show up. And you might be thinking like, how does that even connect to my business now? It's an origin piece of what you're holding energetically in your body that's telling you it's not safe to shine. That's one example of so many things. I'm going to keep going through here. I have a list. So, your birth order, maybe you grew up in a family where you had six siblings. And so you kind of got lost in the shuffle there and you had to kind of fight for the spotlight. Or maybe you had an older sibling who did really well and they always were outshining you. So you were like, I might as well not even try. Like, I'm good over here, or whatever that story might have been. Maybe you were the oldest child and you kind of felt like when the younger kids were born, they stole your spotlight away. So birth order can be another way that this can show up. Some of these things that are anchoring you to the fear of being seen. Maybe you didn't want to outshine your sibling, so you kept quiet. So now it's like, oh, it's not safe for me to be more successful than my brother, my sister, my parents, my mentor, whatever that is. And these are all very unconscious things. It's not something that you're like, oh, yeah, of course I knew that. It's very subconscious, and you might not even be aware until I say it, and then you're like, oh, yes, okay. So cultural norms. My dad always said to me, don't brag. It's not polite to brag. Just sit down and be look pretty and just, sit still. And so I was never allowed to speak up. And maybe for you it's the same thing. Like your parents might have told you just sit down, do your homework and don't say anything, right? So it could be that. Really having that belief system that I need to be here because then I'm safe, right? Or maybe you got punished because you were loud and you were very free spirited as a kid and your parents were like, oh, you're too much, right? Has anybody ever had that? I'm curious, when people are watching the replay, let me know in the comments. I want to see like, yes, 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 I can relate to this. Totally, can grasp onto some of the reasons why this fear of being seen is showing up for you in your business. Other things that I've heard and that I've experienced is just getting rejected in general by your parents, by, through bullying. I actually had an experience. My childhood was not fun now that I think about it. I'm just telling you guys all this stuff. So in fifth grade, so sixth grade, I had that happen. Fifth grade, I had a group of girls who bullied me. And I was always very sensitive, the empath and smart. And I think these girls were jealous or whatever their reason was, but they picked on me. And so I had this wound around women and trusting women, that they weren't just out to get me, and that, I wasn't going to get made fun of, and all of this. And guess what? When I held on to that belief and that energy and that trauma, then it prevented me from truly shining and getting to that next level of brilliance in my business. And I can really relate to, if you've been abused, if you've been bullied, any of these things, my heart is with you, because it's not easy to move through. And we can intellectually think like, oh yeah, but that was in fifth grade. But until you really feel into it and digest those emotions, it's going to remain in your field and it's going to remain as the block. And so one thing that I do with my clients, and that we do in Elevate Entrepreneur Academy, and there she goes again, there's my dog, is that, and we're just going to roll with this. We're just going to roll with Penny barking out there, is that we do tapping. So tapping is a really powerful technique that you can do whenever you feel these fears come up. The fear of being seen, the fear of putting yourself out there in your business. It works on your subconscious mind, and it works on the meridian system of the body. So it's really simple. You just start off, and the setup is, even though I have the fear of being seen, for example, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Sorry, hold on. This dog. All right, you want to come in here? Come on. Hey, get up here. Hey. She's barking. All right, well, now you're going to tap with us. All right? Now you're going to have to tap with us. Now she's going to come. All right. This is who we're talking to. Look what we got. I so loud. She's only 10 pounds, but I swear she sounds like she's 100 pounds. Sorry about that. Okay. So, even though I have blah, 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 blah fear, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So that's what the setup is. And so I always teach people tapping is like a question mark, right? So you're starting here, and then you're moving to the side of the eye. Then underneath, mustache point, chin, penny, collarbone, and then on the top of the head. So let's do a round of tapping together on the fear of being seen. So even though I feel like it's not safe for me to be seen, and I've had some trauma, and I'm really terrified of shining in my business, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel like, I couldn't outshine my sister because she got better grades than me, and I just felt like this outsider. And now I sabotage myself in my business because I'm afraid to be outshining anybody. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So doing one more round, even though people were jealous of me when I showed my gifts, when I shined my light, and I actually got punished for it indirectly. And I just felt like I didn't fit in. And so the more I shine, the more I don't fit in, or the more people judge me. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And just let that. This doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like you have to tap like a certain amount of times, right? That's the setup, and you get the point. So that's what you do. That is what we do in the Elevate Entrepreneur Academy, and so much more. And we really work and going through all of these deep unconscious blocks that are stopping you from making more income and impact in your business right now. This is my mission because I know that there are people out there struggling with this. I know that people are dealing with all of these things, right? The fear of being seen, perfectionism, all of these blocks show up, and they directly impact your income and impact. So I really encourage you to start tapping, to look into that. It's very powerful. It's such a powerful technique. And to just give yourself compassion. Whenever you're feeling blocks come up in your business, or hello, I see some more people joining. And whenever you're feeling this, the fight, flight, freeze response kick up for you, put your hand on your heart and just say, even though I feel this, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And I promise you, it is going to help. That is one tool that I wanted to teach you today that you can take into your business and implement right away. It's so powerful, and it helps you shift immediately. And so how you might be feeling after EFT or tapping is you might just feel neutral. You might be like, I don't feel anything. And that's normal. That's okay. You might feel tired. You might yawn, because whenever you're moving energy, yawning is moving energy. You might feel tingles, all across your body. Whatever your experience is, it's totally normal. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water whenever you're doing any kind of subconscious work and moving energy that way. You want to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water to hydrate and move that energy through. So I hope that you got so much value out of this teaching, I felt it on my heart to come on and just acknowledge you where you are, no matter where you are in your journey. I want you to celebrate yourself, and for watching this video, for being curious about new ways to love yourself even more. Because ultimately, what we want is we want a full bucket, right? We want this side. We want to be plugging up those holes. And the way that you plug up those holes is through radical self acceptance, through deeper levels of self love, and doing this unconscious work where we're looking into these different ways that your subconscious mind is trying to protect you so that you can heal and hold more energy, hold more money, be able to expand, right? The feminine is designed to expand, and money is the masculine support that allows you to do that, right? Imagining that you had $300,000 just drop into your bank account, you'd be like, oh, I can breathe, right? I can feel supported right now. And so that's in essence what we're doing here is you're filling up your own cup, you're plugging those holes, the traumas, the belief systems, the programming, the lack, the scarcity, all of that that's not serving you, so that you can fill your cup and really pour into others. So thank you so much for being here. I would love to hear your comments, what resonated most for you, and I will see you on the next Facebook Live. Have a good day. Thank you for bearing with Penny. Bye.